really is very exciting. If you missed the first two Mishnayos, it is, of course, on Torah Anytime on YouTube. We are sponsored by the Fisher family, Lenishmas Basi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo ben Avraham Levi, Pel Bas Ruvain. We're also sponsored by Lenishmas Dov ben Chaim, Lefu Shalem for Yomis ben Chayesar, Yaakov ben Bas Yaleh for the Schus of Avraham and Yom Benish ben Malki Yehudis. We're sponsored by Yoel Klugman and family. We learn Lefu Shalem for Avigdor ben Rivkin, the Bas Chayesar, Yitzhak ben Tzim ben Dusha, Rivka Bas Shira Leah, Shmuel ben Yom ben Shira Leah, Moshe Meir ben Esther Fradel, Rachel Bas Sarah, and Meir ben Chayesar. They should have a refuah shalema b'seg shachar Yisrael. Now, when the morning came, Notales Hamafteach, the Memuna, who was in the Beis HaMoiked, in the cavernous chamber of fire, took a key from a ring that was on a slab. There was a tefah by tefah, or pasach es a pishpash, and he opened a minor door in the Beis HaMoiked. Yosefin writes that the main door of the Beis HaMoiked was so gigantic and heavy that it needed 20 people to open it. So he opened a minor door, v'nichnas me Beis HaMoiked la'azar, and they went in from the Beis HaMoiked into the temple courtyard. V'nichnas achrav, and the other Kohanim, remember we said the Ziknei Beis Av slept there, and there were Pirchei Kahuna that slept there. They went in afterwards, and remember it's like pre-dawn, it was still dark. Ushtei avukai shel or biyadim. They're going to break up into two groups, so each group had torches. They broke up into two groups. They were going to go around and inspect the utensils to see if they're ready for the day. This is very interesting. You don't see this in a lot of pictures of the temple courtyard. But ringing the inner perimeter of the temple courtyard, a little bit away from the wall, were pillars. And from the pillars to the top of the wall of the temple courtyard, they had like a roof. So it made like a passageway, a covered passageway which protected the kalim. And this colonnade, so to speak, went around the whole Azara. So Elu Holchem Ba'achsadr Derech HaMizrach, one went through this covered area to the east. The Elu Holchem Ba'achsadr Derech HaMarav, the other one went through this covered area to the west. They were expecting if everything was in order. The two groups met each other where they made the chavitin for the Kohen Gadol, like we learned in the daf. When they met each other, Amru, they asked, Shalom, is everything well? And they got the answer, Akol Shalom, everything is well. They appointed those that make the chavitim to start making the chavitim. Now remember we said that the first lottery was to choose which kohen, who got up early in the morning and already went to the mikveh, which kohen will take the ash off the mizbeach and put it on the side of the mizbeach. That was the first avodah of the day. So Misha Zacham Litroim es mizbeach, the one who merited to the one who merited. Look at this. I didn't put it on Kol Ocean. Okay, I'll take care of that. Misha Zacha Litroim es mizbeach, the one that merited to. I could shut this. I'll leave it on. Misha Zacha Litroim es mizbeach, the one who merited to take off the Trumas Hadashin, who Yitrim es mizbeach. He's the one that's going to do it. The Haim Aimrim, they tell him he's Zar Shema Tiga Bakli, lest you touch the special shovel, until you do Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim from the Kir, sanctifying your hands and feet. Now they had to tell him this because he already did Tefillah. But still he also had to do Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim. Then they told him, because it might be the first time that he did it, The shovel is nesuna b'miktzaya in a corner bein hakevesh lemizbeach, where the ramp meets the mizbeach, b'maravi shel kevesh, on the western side of the kevesh. That's the part of the ramp that's between the ulam and the mizbeach, between the antechamber and the mizbeach. Ein adam nichnas imay, nobody accompanies him, because in the area between the ulam and the mizbeach, nobody goes if they're not doing something. The loin erbiyada, he needed his hands free. He didn't carry a torch. Because he had the light already of the pyre on the mizbeach. Loya Yerayin, I say, they didn't see him because he was black now by the mizbeach. The loy shaymin eskayle, they couldn't hear him. He was quiet. At shaymin, when he got to the kier, he had to pull up the water, because you see they made a wheel and lowered down the water till it attached to the water table underground, because otherwise that water would have been disqualified with lina being left overnight. So Ben Cotton invented a wheel to lower it down, so they didn't know where he was at Shishaymin Kola Eitz until they heard the loud cranking of the wheel. She'oisim Ben Cotton Muchni Lakir. Ben Cotton made a wheel to pull up the water of the kier. And then they said, it's time. So they all went. Kidesh Yadav Ragvav Min Akir. They, the one who was doing the Tumas Hadesh and sanctified his hands and his feet from the kier. Notal Machta Kesef, he took the silver shovel, went up the ramp to the top of the Mizbeach, he cleared away the coals to either side, the top coals he cleared away to either side. He shoveled the inner already burnt coals. The Yored, he came down. When he descended the ramp, he reached the floor. I'm sorry, I'm skipping. He came down, and when he reached the floor, he turned to the north, and now walked on the eastern side of the ramp. He walked up the eastern side of the ramp, like 10 amas. He piled the coals there on the floor, distant from the kevesh shloisha tvachim. Miraculously, those coals absorbed into the ground. The same place where they put muray sa'if, the crop of the bird, by the oila sa'if. V'dishim mizbeach ha'pnimi, the ash of the inner altar from the incense. V'amenayra, and the ash of the menorah after the wicks burnt. And believe it or not, we have finished the first parak of Tamid. This is going to be, as I said, an absolutely fascinating Masechta. I want to thank you for a triple crown this evening. Remind you that in Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow night we will have a double header. And thank you for joining us, and have a good Tavach.